Hey, we're Saints. Father Chris here. Welcome to our Crucifixional live stream. Glad to have you beautiful people with us in Marriage Week. We set the tone yesterday talking about marriage and how it's kind of under assault. It's not quite the institution that it once was. Well, it is, but it's not esteemed as such. And there are assaults from the secular world and even some, twisted ideas of marriage within certain Christian communions. I mean, it's really, to find the right way, the right mode of living within marriage is, it's becoming more and more difficult. We're going to hope to address some of those things later in this week. But yesterday we had an interesting comment. All right, if you're talking about marriage, Father Chris, teach me. How do I do so within the context of the Orthodox Church or as an Orthodox Christian? This is a great question. How do we find the right person to date with eyes on marriage as a warrior saint? I think it's a great question. So we're going to give it a little bit of shot. We'll give it a shot to give you a little bit of insight. How's that? Number one, you got to put yourself in the right spots. Well, let's say this. How about this is number one? Number one, you better be clear and decide what you want in a spouse, right? Write a list. Look, I did. Before I decided to ask my bride out and eventually get married, I had an idea of what type of person I was looking for. And it doesn't mean I wasn't open to, experience other people who could blindside me. I didn't see them coming, that type of thing. But I wrote a list. Number one, my spouse must be an Orthodox Christian. I mean, that was important to me, right? The most important. Second, I wanted her to be of the same culture, the same ethnicity as me. That wasn't a deal breaker, but it was really important, not because my ethnicity is better than yours or his or hers, but because you think the same way. When you're raised within the same culture, you have a similar mentality, right? Like my wife and I always joke. I mean, we're both Lebanese. We say we may think crazy, but it's the same kind of crazy, right? And that has been such a blessing for us in that most of the things that we encounter in life, we think in the same manner, right? So as I built my list, there were things that were important. You need to also compile your own list. What are you looking for? Some things are non-negotiable. Others, it's okay if it's better if they're there, but it's perfectly okay if they're not, right? So devise a list of the things that you're looking for in someone who's going to help you walk on the way of the warrior saint, ultimately journeying towards the kingdom of God. Number two, put yourself in the right spot, baby. Look, if you're looking for someone who's got similar values to you and you go to the bar to pick up chicks or to meet the fellas, maybe, and I'm not judging, but maybe people at the bar are not looking for the same things that you're looking for. And I am sure that there are people who are watching who may have met their spouse in the bar and have lived together happily for 27 years. Great, I got it. But you and I all know that most of the time that's probably not the case, right? So put yourself in the right environments. And I'm not just being silly in the sense of just go to church, though that is not a bad place to be, right? Because that leads to number three. Find someone who is a good matchmaker. Like every church has the Yenta, right? We have a great one. I'm gonna call her. We'll give the initial K. She's amazing. K can just see how this person and this person click together. She's a master matchmaker, and I mean we've got marriages in this community from her hand. It's amazing. As I joke about that, ultimately the idea is, there are people who can help us connect with other people, right? Like, setting up with a friend or on a blind date, all that kind of stuff, however you want to look at it. But don't be afraid of that. Don't be averse to that. Sometimes people can make wonderful connections. But most importantly, and here's the thing, this is number four. I'm going to pause because it's really the key. How do you find the right person? First, you have to become the right person. So listen, here's how I say it to the fellas. To find the right girl, you must first become the right man. And ladies, the converse is also true. You must be working on thyself in order to find. If you're out there looking and you're kind of a mess inside, what are you bringing to the table, right? We must first be men and women who are ferociously striving to be warrior saints. And when we get ourselves on the right path, when we start living that crucifixional life, we're going to be, I don't want to say that it's like, I don't want to be too cheesy, but really we start to attract people towards us. Does that make sense? Who we are attracts like-minded people to us and vice versa. I saw, and I hope I don't overstep, but one of my, dear friends on the Facebook, it's a lady on her Facebook page, it says that a woman's heart must be so wrapped up in God that in order to find her, the man must seek him, meaning God, right? I think I said that right. But in other words, she's so focused on God that the man, if he's going to find her, he too has to be focused on God, right? And so the idea there is what I'm saying. You've got to become the right person if you're going to find the right person. That starts with you living a crucifixional life. And look, I'm not trying to be silly or, like it's voodoo magic and, like Jesus is going to bring your spouse. No, but you got to be in the right spot, because if you're not, they're going to look at you and walk right past, right? The good ones will know. The good men, the good women who are looking for similar things will know if you're not really in a good place in your own life. So the point of it is you've got to get yourself like just tip-top shape, right? Hungry for all of the blessings in life that God can bestow upon us, but with your requisite work. All right, we're able to help you guys do that kind of stuff. We got the battle plan, so I mean, if you're looking for it, it's there. I mean, getting our own life in order. To find the right girl, you got to become the right man, and vice versa, ladies. All right, I've rambled enough. I don't know if that was even helpful. Hope it was. But we will be back again tomorrow to talk about the mode of marriage, and I guess you probably already know that is being crucifixional. Love you, beautiful people. We'll see you tomorrow. And until then, as always, keep walking on the way of the warrior saint.